time to announce the winner of the 2023 the Cultivator of the Year award. And to reveal the winner, we're going to play just a short 2-minute clip about the impact that this winner had. And I can announce the winner works at a company called the Ford Motor Company. It's a man named Doug Martin. With that, let's play the clip that shows more about what Doug Martin has done.
A couple years ago, I was reading a document that described a billboard in Lima, Peru that condensed water out of thin air in this dry environment and made 2,500 gallons in 3 months and just dispersed it to the residents that didn't have access to clean water. And I thought, well, cars go through air too, and why not do something with cars like that? On-the-go H2O is a system that recovers water from the condenser in the air conditioning system, collects it, pumps it through a filter, and provides it to the passengers for drinking. When the passenger or driver activates the system, pumps the water from the reservoir up through a 0.1 micron filter to remove any organic impurities into the cabin through a faucet on the central console cup holder. I do see this as a big benefit in developing countries. If all their cars had this and there's a shortage of clean water, or in this case, if they have the not so clean water, they could run it through this system and have clean water. That'd be a very big benefit to have. So I think it'd be pretty exciting to actually see this go into production somewhere and make a difference.
Wow. So Doug read about a billboard, said, cars go through air too. Practice critical awareness, this first step of the cultivator journey, took responsibility, and I think Doug is here to join us to accept the award. So my first question, Doug, is just what's on your mind as the winner of the first ever inaugural Cultivator of the Year award?
It's a blank mind there. Thanks, Jake, and thanks, Lisa, for everyone for this honor and opportunity for exposure and to encourage others. It's quite an honor. Quite unexpected as well. I'd like to thank my fellow collaborators on that project, Ken Miller, Ken Jackson, and John Rollinger from Ford. And, it's great to be able to teach and encourage others to pursue their ideas. And this cultivator environment is really a wonderful vessel to do that. So I'm very honored, and ideas like this, I've got 200 other patents, so I'd love for all of them to see the light of day and the positive exposure this one's had and see them into production. So this is really encouraging and great. Thank you very much, Jake.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. And I've got a follow-up question or two for you, and respect your choice. Doug decided not to have his voice included here, but not his face, which is completely cool. But just so you everybody knows, this is the intended effect here, is that you hear Doug without seeing him. So I love the fact that you talk about the collaborators. It's very humble of you. I love that you talk about the other ideas that maybe didn't have the sort of impact. If you put yourself back at the initial, the earliest stages, tell us a bit about why you decided to do something about this opportunity. You might not have been the only one who heard about this opportunity, but you decided to do something about it. Why?
Sometimes ideas just kind of hit you, and you just you have to do something about it if there's something to be done. And it was that feeling. It's like, well, probably I can't make this all happen. This is a big project, but I can envision a way for this to happen in cars. And so I wrote it down and sent it off to a colleague and said, what do you think about this? And they said, no, write it up, go for it, at least put in the IP for it. And so that's what I did. And it kind of sat there until someone at Ford saw the patent going through the process and decided to highlight it and said, hey, why don't you try to make this, actually make it happen? And so that's where it took off from there. It was a couple of crazy weeks and a lot of lot of handiwork making that happen, but that's where it started. I'd been, working in a lot of areas where problems needed solved that, you couldn't really figure out the solution. So you just bang your head against the wall until you see something that looks like it'll work, and you get practice at that. And so when you have that feeling of something might really work and make a difference, you go for it. You just don't let it die, and you keep supporting it until, you can't support it anymore. And that's why I'm here now. It's like, this is an idea. It could be great. So I won't let it down.
That's great. That's great. I love hearing that. And I just think about that first person you reached out to, right? Where you said, is this a thing? And they encouraged you. They're not here. You're here, but you're giving them spotlight. Maybe say something about how important it is to have, in the early stages, people who encourage you, because some of us may be the Doug Martins with the idea to do the thing. Many more of us may be the other person who's hearing the idea and making the decision about how to encourage the idea. So how important was it to have that first individual and any other early collaborators and encouragement, Doug?
Yeah, that's huge. That's really what it's all about, at least for me. You have the idea, and then you just, a day later it's gone unless you do something about it. And that was Ken Miller was the backstop there. The other half of that is I happened to be in an innovation group at the time that works on new ideas at Ford, and my boss is John Rollinger, and he said, "Hey, you can have the 2 weeks and do whatever you can do to see what you can make this thing happen." And that's the other half of it. I mean, I guess I could have done it all at home, but to have that freedom and encouragement was the other half that was very huge.
Wow. Love that. Love that. The importance of the supportive manager. And the manager didn't say, sure, forget the day job, just do nothing. But there was a limit. It was time limited, 2 weeks.
Mhm.
But I love the support of the manager and the fact that you were on an innovation group. So there was this organizational support. So many of the things from the space model that Chris shared before, that there were these sort of conditions and an individual and a cultivator who went on the journey. So thank you so much for being our first ever cultivator of the year and really bringing to life so many of the key ideas of what it means to be a cultivator. Thank you so much. Please join me in a final appreciation to Doug Martin. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much, Jake, and everyone.